Hello kids, welcome to Unit 6. How much time have we got? Lesson number 3, Grammar. Before we start the lesson, here are the learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify expressions of quantity, which are some and any, and you will be able to ask and answer questions about quantity using some and any. Now, let's learn when should we use any and some. Let's read these examples together. Have you got any money? The answer is yes, I've got some money. Another question, have you got any cakes? The answer is yes, I've got some cakes. You can notice here that we used any to ask questions about quantity. So we started with have you got, then we used any, then we put the object. And for the answer, if the answer is positive, so we used yes, then we used some before the object. So yes, I've got some money. The second example also, we used any to ask about quantity. And then because the answer or the sentence is positive, so we used some before the object. Yes, I've got some cakes. So we learn from here that we use any for questions and we use some for positive sentences. Now, let's move to a different example. The question here is, have you got any magazines? The answer is, I haven't got any magazines, but I've got some newspapers. The second question is, have you got any apples? And the answer is, I haven't got any apples, but I've got some bananas. You can notice here that also we use any to ask questions about quantity, but because we have a negative sentence, so we used I haven't got, then we put any before the object. So if we have a negative sentence, we will use any before the object. Whereas in positive sentences, you can notice that we used some. So you can see here, also another example, have you got any apples? And because the answer is negative, so we put any before the object. So we can learn here that we use any for questions and also we use it for negative sentences. Let's have some practice. You're going to read the dialogue and fill in the blanks using any or some. You can pause the video and do the activity. Well done. Now let's check your answers. First one, we haven't got any onions, but we've got some garlic. I don't need any garlic right now. Have you got any eggs? Yes, we've got some eggs. Great, I will have some eggs again. Let's move to Kate. Have you got any green apples? And then we haven't got any green apples. And lastly, we will have some red apples. Now, let's learn how to respond to the question, have you got any? In order to answer this question, we should follow the sequence below. So we have positive sentences and negative sentences. For positive sentences, we should start with yes, comma, then the subject I, she, he, they, then we put have got or has got, then we write the expression of quantity, which is some, and then we use or write the noun or the object. For the negative sentences, we should follow the sequence below. So because it's negative, we will say I haven't got, the subject plus haven't or hasn't got. Then we will use the expression of quantity, which is any, then the object. And if we want to write the positive sentence with the negative one, we will put pot, comma, then we will follow the same procedure that we followed in positive sentences. You can have some practice here. You're going to read the sentences, look at the pictures, and fill in the blanks using some or any. You can pause the video and write the answers on your mini board. Well done! Now let's check the answers. I've got some bags. I haven't got any food. Have you got any chocolate? He's got some coins. I haven't got any water. Have you got any books? You are ready now to write your own sentences using some or any. You can write sentences or questions. Look at the pictures and write your own sentences or questions. Take out your mini board and start writing. And don't forget to start with capital letters and end up with a full stop. Also, you have to use finger space between words. You have to check your spelling and you have to use some or any correctly. Very good. Now, let me show you some examples. He hasn't got any magazines, but he's got some books. Have you got any magazines? So we have both sentence and question. Jane doesn't have any friends to play with. She's got some CDs in her suitcase. Have you got any CDs? My little brother hasn't got any toy cars, but he's got some toy trains. This is the end of the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.